Very good afternoon. Oh, morning. Very good morning to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is a very auspicious day, 31st May 2026, which is Wesak Day. So first of all, I'd like to wish all kind brothers happy Wesak. And with this, I think we will commence our uh, Wesak celebration gathering of Kayamita as an official session for today's lesson. So first of all, not only to develop the faith, it is also an occasion for us to renew our devotion towards the Buddha, the teaching, and all the beautiful things that he has shared with the world. And the significance of Wesak Day is very useful, very important. It denotes the tri-sacred occasion of the Buddha, his birth, his enlightenment, and his final parinibbana. And these three tri-sacred occasion has great significance. That's why on Wesak Day, most of us as Buddhists who have the understanding, we will deepen our faith in his teaching. Most people call it renewal. To renew is just normal process of renewing the faith. But to deepen the faith is to make use of this auspicious occasion, tri-sacred occasion, to actually deepen our understanding of the significance of this vessel. Not only he is a Sammasambuddha, fully enlightened, but his teaching is very beautiful. And the teaching enables us to liberate our mind, to be free from all suffering. And the deeper meaning for those who take the supreme vehicle Dhamma is to have the possibility to realize the highest human ideal through our cultivation of the Bodhisattva way or the supreme vehicle teaching. PG is here. Come, welcome, PG. Yeah, morning. So this deepening of faith is only one of the great significance. The other one is to recall to mind all the beautiful teachings. The importance of cultivating this understanding of the Buddha Dhamma so that it not only helps us to understand life, it helps us to have the ability to live life and to live the noble life of enlightened beings. So the possibility of liberation is there when you can free your mind from all suffering, means there is great meaning to life. Yeah. So apart from deepening our faith, we also express our devotion on such occasion. That a lot of people will make strong aspiration to go this way, to cultivate the teaching, so that it can benefit not only our journey in this cultivation to perfection, but also to be a blessing to all. Then this is also a great tradition or a very meaningful Buddhist tradition to offer opportunity for all devotees to have the great joy of celebrating Vesak in a very unique manner, in the sense that it's an occasion for great merits to be developed. Not only it gave us joy, faith, understanding, it also allows us to manifest the condition for all devotees to come together. and pay respect to the Buddha, renew your faith, then make offerings. Yeah. And a lot of charity and generosity work are generated. And like I said now this morning, the significance of Vesak, how all the activity where cultivator of the way they wake up early, prepare themselves, dress properly, then put on incense, perfume, light candle, make offerings. At the same time, you develop all the reverential salutation, means you offer dana, then you keep your sila, you renew your precept, then you listen to Dhamma, you do the chanting to strengthen your spiritual faculty. And at the same time, you also straighten your view, develop the meditative understanding, and you share merit, transfer merit. Then at the same time, you volunteer your service to help out on such occasion. And people who come, in fact, there are a lot of once a year Buddhists who come. They may receive the book, the flyers, and also joy of attending such occasion. Then they witness, of course, at night they have their possession, the light and all those things. So light is a very important symbol. It symbolizes wisdom. It illuminates the mind of deluded being. So this illumination festival of light is very meaningful. It can also help us to cultivate, to illuminate our nature. And it can illuminate into the universal characteristics of nature to allow living beings to develop enlightenment and wholesomeness. So all these are very wholesome. And the field of merit that is generated on such occasion is a lot. That's why every Vesak, you see a lot of temple busy with all the traditional activity and joy. And they able to manifest all this is because the teaching is really very unique. So much so in the year 1950, I think the Buddhist, I think World Fellowship of Buddhists, they decide to gazette it to be a public holiday in all the Buddhist country. Then after that, the United Nations, I think UNESCO, 1999, officially recognized as a world public holiday. Yeah. That's how we had this tradition is celebrated. And as cultivator, the way we not only develop all this understanding, which is basic provisional teaching on the Theravada traditions understanding, but as cultivator of the supreme vehicle teaching, we can go deeper into it, which I will explain later. Okay, so as per our schedule, 11:30, slightly exceeded, 11:34, we will have our puja, our tri-sacred occasion to mark Wesak Day. Such auspicious occasion, we need to strengthen our faith, deepen our faith, so that we can actually go through and have this Vesak celebration with great understanding and faith and devotion. Okay, let us prepare our mind, develop the faith, sada, virya, then mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. First, let us silence our mind and offer homage to the Buddha. We develop it through the traditional bowing. Homage to thee, the blessed one, the worthy one, and the fully enlightened one. Then we pay respect 3 times. Homage to thee, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, and the fully enlightened one. Wow. Homage to thee, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, and the fully enlightened one. Then that one we will bow following the Mahayana tradition. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。Okay, now we will commence the Puja chanting. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛。南无药师佛。南无药师佛。南无药师佛。南无文殊菩萨。南无文殊菩萨。南无文殊菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨。อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวาพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิ สวากาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิ สุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามิ So now you commence our official chanting. นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิ Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami Tiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapada Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccachara Veramani Sikkhapada Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sikkhapada Samadhiyami Sura Meraya Majapahadattana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Okay, you can be seated. Okay, you turn to page 3 of the chanting book. We will continue our Puja chanting from Padipa Puja onward. Ganna Sarappaditena Dipena Tamadansina Diloka Dipang Sambuddham Pujayami Tamonudam Ganda Sambara Yuttena Duppena Hang Suganghina Pujaye Pujaniyam Tang Puja Bhajana Muttamang Vanna Ganda Guno Petang Etang Kasuma Santatin Pujayami Munindasa Siri Pada Sarorohe Pujemi Padang Kasumena Nena Nena Matena Cha Hotu Mokang Pupang Milayati Yata Idang Me Kayo Tata Di Vinasabhawang Adivase Tuno Bante Paniyang Parikapitang Anukampang Upadaya Patikan Hatu Muttamang Adivase Tuno Bante Parikapitang Anukampang Upadaya Patikan Hatu Muttamang Adivase Tuno Bante Bojanang Parikapitang Anukampang Upadaya Patikan Hatu Muttamang. Okay, we will chant the significance of all these puja offerings based on our understanding. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the significance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami or generosity and the fruit of karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition as soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana, making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits born of these offerings, and our spiritual faculties of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become powers or mothers, sharing and transform marriage to all beings. May this marriage be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, viewer, be respect to Puja. A very good afternoon to all, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is Wesak Day, 31st May 2026. It's a Sunday. So we just had our lunch, a very good vegetarian lunch. We should thank Pamasuri, Sister, Brother Teo, and family, including Chintai, for the generous offering. Let us rejoice.
Sad, sad, sad.
Also, they volunteer to let us use their house to be this tri-sacred auspicious occasion of Vesak. Okay, as I have explained earlier on, Vesak Day is of great significance to us all Buddhists, especially cultivators of the Dhamma. Whereas the usual significance that mark this occasion is the tri-sacred occasion, which commemorate the birth, the enlightenment, and parinibbana of Sakyamuni Buddha. That's how Vesak came into existence. It was initially a traditional celebration and later become an official public holiday celebration. And as explained earlier on, this Vesak has great significance to people who understand. And it also can help spin off a lot of devotional commitment. So it's an occasion where Buddhists all over the world can deepen their devotion and also deepen their faith. Not only to renew their faith, but deepen it through deep reflection, contemplation, and understanding. Then it is also an occasion where all can gather at the way place to perform a lot of meritorious action or wholesome action. That's why its significance is tremendous. And the occasion for joy, for merit making, development of faith and understanding is really significant. That's why we choose to celebrate it. So I will read to you what I sent out this morning. Vesak is the most sacred Buddhist festival commemorating the birth, enlightenment, and passing away or parinibbana of Sakyamuni Buddha. Sometimes they call him Siddhartha Gautama. It is observed on the full moon of the lunar month of Vesak, usually between May to June. And it's a day of deep, that's why the word deep, reflection, merit making, and devotion. These three things actually are very important trademark of Vesak. Then the core significance of Vesak is this triple commemoration. First marks the Buddha's birth in Lumbini, then enlightenment underneath the Bodhi tree in Buddha Gaya, and finally his passing away in Kushinara. All three events are believed to have occurred on the same lunar date in different years. Spiritual reminders. This occasion, Vesak, encourages Buddhists to reflect on impermanence and anicca, compassion, and the path to liberation. Merit making is a second important uh, factor. Mm. The act of generosity, dana parami, the act of renewing your precept, morality or sila parami, and meditation, bhavana, are emphasized as a way of life and way to accumulate a lot of wholesomeness and to gain enlightenment or liberation from birth and death. Then the rituals and practices that people do on such a day. The first most common is temple visit. That's why a lot of them will visit temple. They wake up early, dress themselves nicely, then they renew their faith, deepen their what they call devotion. Then they gather at temple to do chanting, to perform puja offerings, then to develop the meditation, followed by listening to Dhamma talk, then the sharing of merit, transfer of merit, then all the blessings from the Sangha. Then the second practice or ritual that most people do on Wesak Day is they will allow you to bathe the statue of the Buddha. So bathing the Buddha statue symbolizes purification of mind, means you clean your not only physical body, your mind of all defilements. Then they have offering of alms and charity, food donation, free volunteer service are given to the monks and the Buddhist community. So many people help out in the preparation in the what they call festival occasion, including the night possession and all those things. And a lot of work need to be done before Vesak. And there are these early days when I really was at Brickfield, I remember, I think at least a month or two before that, we will help out in the cleaning of the temple, getting ready of the things for Vesak and all those things. That all night chanting, everything we do. Then observing our precept is another one. Many observe the minimum 5 precepts of abstain from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and in partaking of intoxicant. Or some may even include fasting, refrain from entertainment, and simplicity of lifestyle to keep the 8 precepts. Then, of course, at night, the possession and lantern. So there will be this Vesak float, candlelight, vigil, and lantern lighting ceremony symbolizing enlightenment and compassion because they call it a festival of light. Light actually symbolizes awakening. It can give light to the deluded. So when there is no light, there is no illumination, there is no clarity, there is no understanding. So light that can illuminate and allow the cultivator of the way to realize the truth and to liberate their mind is a very beautiful symbol. Then it's also a global observation. Theravada tradition, like countries like Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, Malaysia, Singapore, etc., celebrate all 3 events on Vesak. The Mahayana tradition, China, Korea, Japan, etc., often focuses on the Buddha's birth and enlightenment and passing away. marked separately. So here, what they mean is the Mahayana tradition observe the significance of Wesak differently. Those that take the supreme vehicle with their understanding, they observe it differently, although it's a similar treating tri-sacred occasion of the birth, enlightenment, and passing away. But they observe it differently. That's why just now in the first session, I did mention this year there is condition. I will share with you on the deeper significance of Wesak for true cultivator of the way that walk the supreme vehicle way or the Bodhisattva way. That one I will elaborate later. Then the international recognition is also very good. Like I told you earlier on, in the year 1950, the World Fellowship of Buddhists declared Wesak as an international holiday. Then in 1999, which is 49 years later, the United Nations recognized it globally too. So Wesak in Malaysia is also a public holiday officially declared in 1962 after the Buddhist communities appealed to the government. So celebration. Major temples like Breakfield, Mahavihara, they will host prayer, procession, and charity drives. It's also an occasion to raise funds to allow people to perform charity. Then there is this community spirit beyond rituals. The Wesak emphasizes on unity, compassion, and service, including campaign for blood donation, etc. Then normally free food are also distributed, and interfaith goodwill are a common activity. Then the practical takeaway, this one is more important. Wesak is not just a celebration or a festival, but a spiritual checkpoint. This makes the difference, marks the difference between cultivator and non-cultivator. The checkpoint is a reminder to live life with compassion, to uphold the ethical conduct of the teaching, and cultivate mindfulness. For Buddhists in Malaysia and worldwide, it is a day to renew commitment to the Buddha's teaching and to spread this teaching of kindness, loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom across community. So that brief, I think, is good enough. Then coming back to all the good wishes that we receive on this day, I saw two very important and good ones. So I read to you. And the first one is by Brother Beng Phi. But Kong Chai, the last one, summarized everything, including his, which I think is very comprehensive. That's why I responded. I say, Brother Kong Chai, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Well said, and your great Wesak Day greeting and message were very well written. So I read to you. Brother Beng Phi one is quite similar, and most of it is covered by Kong Chai. So I just read to you what Kong Chai has written. Happy Wesak Day to Brother Theo, Mrs. Theo, and all Kayanamitas. On this tri-sacred Wesak Day, I bow with deepest gratitude to my teacher and all Kayamitas, who are noble spiritual friends who walks this path of Dhamma together. The Buddha showed the way, the teacher illuminate the path. The Kayamita help support, counsel, and motivate us to continue walking this path. When this journey becomes difficult. Because of your guidance, kindness, and patience, and example, the teaching are not merely words in scripture, but living reality, living wisdom that can be put into practice in daily life. Today, as we commemorate the birth, enlightenment, and parinibbana of the Blessed One, may we all continue to cultivate wisdom instead of ignorance, compassion instead of anger, generosity instead of attachment, and peace instead of suffering. May the light of Dhamma continue to shine and illuminate in our heart and in the world. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Well, let's rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Then Kongchai say Happy Wesak Day. So it's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Then now we come back to our sharing proper. So as we all know, Vesak is a very important occasion for us to not only renew our faith, but deepen our faith, deepen our reflection on life purpose and the teaching. Then this devotional practice will also deepen because the daily religious routine based on devotional practices that strengthen our sincerity and faith to persevere along this path of Dhamma is really, really beautiful and important. So because of that, this occasion can be a very good reminder for us all. And this, what they call occasion for doing wholesomeness or merits, shouldn't be only a once a year occasion where on Wesak Day you do. So like I explained at the retreat, if you cultivate mindfulness, develop Dhamma understanding and wisdom, you can cultivate wholesomeness almost every day, every instant, every moment. When you have a good mind state, you're cultivating Dhamma all the way. You're receiving merits, wholesomeness all the way. And a lot of things can manifest as wholesomeness or in terms of our triple gem. There are gems everywhere. Why can't you see? Why can't you realize them? Why can't you awaken to them? It's just like truth. Truth is everywhere in the midst of life and nature. Why can't you see? Why can't you develop the understanding? For those who see, they always see. So cultivate all the way is the same. You establish mindfulness, understanding of the Dhamma, then everything you do is in accordance with the Noble Eightfold Path principles. The embodiment of Noble Eightfold Path is what wholesomeness is what wisdom is. So when you have that with you, you become beautiful every moment, every instant, and every day. You don't have to wait for only Wesak Day because the constantly meditative, ever mindful, or heedful one, they will realize a supreme born-free enlightenment. So to be in the state of constantly meditative with the mind that is heedful, ever mindful, is the key to establishing enlightenment and to realizing all this noble vision to live the noble life with the noble understanding established by the teaching. So all these are very beautiful, very meaningful. So now I come back to explain why this tricycle occasion of the Buddha has two levels of understanding. The first level is for normal traditional Buddhists who actually develop the understanding of the teaching following the Theravada tradition, or in the words of the Mahayana, they call this the provisional teaching to gain the sainthood way enlightenment, leading to arahantaship, where they can develop the enlightenment to be free from birth and death of the segmented body, the form and mind. So that aspect, I think, are the more common practice within the Buddhist tradition on Wesak Day. So to them, that triple or tri-sacred occasion of birth of Sakyamuni Buddha, enlightenment of Sakyamuni Buddha, and Parinibbana of Sakyamuni Buddha is understood as a miracle, because for a being to be born on the same day, although different year, means the 15th day Chinese calendar, lunar calendar, month of May, and is what they call the enlightenment, also same day, 15th of May, but on a separate year, 35 years later. Yeah. Then that time he passed away, Parinibbana, also on the 15th of May, but 80 years after his birth. So to them, this is like a miracle. So they will interpret it as a human being like us. We can also gain enlightenment like the Buddha. But the deep meaning is not there. They believe in enlightenment, realizing all the sainthood stages, reaching arahantaship, then no more rebirth through ignorance. That's all. Enlightenment in the here and now. No more suffering. That's their aim. They call it their goal in life. Then they say everybody must die. That's why at the end stage, Parinibbana, where the Buddha realized Parinibbana, the body died. So to them, that tri-sacred occasion is just like that. But there is already a lot of joy, a liberation from suffering, overcoming birth and death, no more becoming, no more coming back to samsara. Today, to them, is the ultimate release. But when you take the supreme vehicle cultivation, the Bodhisattva way, you have a totally different understanding of what all this is. Yeah. And when you understand the four stages of creation, how each and every one of us, we have a original nature, or what we call the oneness nature, the true nature. And this nature is actually the original source. From there, all things arise. Then we have a totally different understanding. Then to us, we know birth and death is not a reality. Birth and death pertain to the conditioned world. That's why we will also know that within the conditioned world, we have this karmic nature that can actually give rise to the rebirth consciousness, or what we call to come to this existential world. We need a karmic nature. So karmically conditioned form and mind, the five aggregate. This is what living being is all about. This karmically conditioned five aggregate of form and mind is not a permanent unchanging entity. It's not the real you. This one is a phenomenon, dependent originating, condition arising. This one is subject to the law of karma. That's why there is such thing as law of karma. This one evolve and continue with life. Then when you come with this, you can actually train this mundane mind to realize the true mind, which is a pure awareness nature. Then from here, you can realize the enlightenment to cease the former mind and the pure awareness nature to realize Nibbana, which is part of the source. And as you cultivate, after you connect, you develop all the wisdom, virtue, and understanding. This will become your spiritual nature. And this spiritual nature you can only inherit after you connect, after you have developed the cultivation to realize the gateway to your nature. Then only you can connect. Otherwise, this one, provisional teaching, traditional cultivator, they don't have a strong spiritual nature. They have a nature, but very minimal, nominal. And because of that, those who take the Supreme Vehicle teaching, they know birth is just a condition for living beings to come back to the existential world. So like Sakyamuni Buddha, he has cultivated for almost 3 3/4 Asangaya Kapas of ceaseless birth and death within samsara. But it doesn't mean that after he became the Sammasambuddha, his spiritual nature is gone. No, his spiritual nature is still there. His karmic nature is still there. He can still move as a bodhisattva or whatever. Yeah. So what they will understand is very different from the provisional teaching Theravada tradition people. They will look at the tri-sacred occasion of Vesak differently. They will know birth signifies how living being can come to the conditioned world through this process, the karmic nature that will condition birth into the uh, existential world. And this birth is the five aggregate of form and mind. And this one you can come in two ways. One is before you realize Arhantaship, then you come and take birth through ignorance, avijja. The second one is through the Bodhisattva way, where you take the vow out of love and compassion for living beings. You vow to liberate all the beings from samsara. And that vow is out of love and compassion. And because of that, you will know that the Bodhisattva can continuously arise through this process where there is no more ignorance. Means becoming via the pure mind without ignorance is possible. That's the uniqueness of our Bodhisattva way, the Supreme Vehicle teaching. Then the Supreme Vehicle teaching involves very, very extensive cultivation and penetration of the nature within to realize all the possibility of perfection of wisdom, virtue, and understanding of both the karmic process and the spiritual nature's process. So this ability transforms the Bodhisattva's way of understanding the significance of Vesak. They look very far, way beyond the provisional teaching. Means birth in samsara is nothing. It is just a nature's process, a nature's condition, where the supreme vehicle cultivator or practitioner must understand that there is a way to come. And that way is through the understanding of the karmic nature and the taking of the 4 basic vows of a bodhisattva to start off with. That's why we did that, and we developed the understanding. And as you develop this cultivation, you will come across more and more sophisticated cultivators' achievement or realization. Then you assimilate them and develop your own understanding and unique specialty to go this way. Then in the future, people will also make use of what you have come out with and develop it further. That's why it's an unending evolution of cultivation. And this will bring forth the understanding that the second tri-sacred occasion, which is the enlightenment in the here and now, is so different from the just provisional teachings understanding. The provisional teaching understanding is just realizing the Four Noble Truths that cease, which means you gain the enlightenment to free your mind from the segmented birth and death, so that you die without avidya. Then you are satisfied with that, and the whole thing ceases. But you don't get to develop the extensive cultivation to understand the wonderful existence after you have realized the penetrative emptiness, true emptiness, or the true unique emptiness of existence, the unreality of life. But yet there is such thing as life, existence, and to be able to live that type of life with such understanding is very different, very complete and very extensive. That's why they will look at enlightenment as unending. That's why we need to perfect the wisdom, the parami of cultivating all Dhamma until you reach the perfection of it. That's why the 10 perfections accumulate into the complete cultivation of Samasa Buddhahood to realize the complete teaching means the unique embodiment of a Samatha Buddha is a very long process. Yeah. But once you can realize that, then this whole thing is no more a mystery. Then you will also understand the third tri-sacred occasion of Parinibbana. Actually, no one died, nothing died. It's just the form of mind dispersed. Yeah. So, to mark the tri-sacred occasion of Vesak can be understood in so much deeper manner. That's why those who take the Supreme Vehicle training, the Bodhisattva way, their understanding become very different. So this is the difference between the two, the provisional teachings way of understanding Vesak, and those that follow the Mahayana tradition or the Supreme Vehicle tradition's teaching, following the Bodhisattva way, is very, very comprehensive and very different. So hopefully with this, you can understand their real meaning and significance. Okay? Let me phrase it another way. So the significance of Vesak, now you understand. Huh? Can you understand or not? It marks the tri-sacred occasion, which is birth of the Buddha, enlightenment, and the Parinibbana. But what is your understanding of this tri-sacred occasion? How deep have you gone in? That is more important. What is birth? Who die? Who get born? That's why those who understand, they will know. Nothing die. No one die. No one born. No one sick. No one old. But that one is a phenomenon. Five aggregate of form and mind, condition arising phenomena, not a permanent unchanging entity. From there, you penetrate, you become different. That's why taking the Bodhisattva way is very different from the normal sainthood way. And the cultivation is a lot more extensive and deeper. Then when it comes to enlightenment, is it just to realize the Four Noble Truths and ability to go through the cessation or to realize Nibbana? No. The sainthood way maybe that is very significant, very important. Even the glimpse of it is very important. But that is just to develop the understanding of how to actually liberate the segmented life from future rebirth. But you go for that way, you just cease after that. You lose the opportunity to cultivate the Bodhisattva way. But when I say you, means that for my mind, it is not a permanent unchanging entity that you can define or cling on to, grasp onto and say, this is me, this is I, this is mine. Even the pure awareness nature, the second circle, that one is not you. You know, isn't it? That one is just a nature, pure awareness nature. It's not a being. It cannot come out and live life. That's why there is no such thing as your true self. No. True nature, yes, but not true self. It's not a permanent unchanging entity, although it's unconditioned, but it's not a being. It cannot come out and live life, and it cannot be identified as so and so. No, because that is just a nature, pure awareness nature, the first to manifest from the source. And to have that nature, you need to have a form and mind to arise. Because from there it arises, you will have to locate the gateway to return. That's why it is not easy, but neither is it difficult when you have developed the cultivation and understanding. So all this will give rise to very penetrative and very deep, extensive understanding of the cultivation. And the way is so much longer and so much more rewarding in the sense that when all this is understood, the whole training becomes so different. Okay, so with this, any more you want to ask or find out? If you don't have the clear understanding, you can ask. So Wesak, the three important tri-sacred occasions is to let you have the deep reflection. When you reflect deep into it, of course, most people, even the provisional teaching, the Theravada tradition, they will develop the faith in it to want to realize enlightenment in it. So that deep reflection will give rise to the deep faith, which is also part of the deep devotion. They strengthen the devotional practice and determine to walk this way. But their main focus is on enlightenment in the here and the now. So that's why in between there is to follow the advice of the Buddha to cultivate the Dhamma way, following his essential Dhamma teaching. And that one can lead to a lot of wholesomeness. That's why avoiding all evil to good and purifying the mind. These are the advice of the Buddha to cultivate wholesomeness. To avoid all evil is to enable you to keep your precept and avoiding all the karmic negativity in life. Then after you have avoided all evil, you cultivate wholesomeness through Noble Eightfold Path understanding, right view leading to right thought, right speech, right action, then right livelihood. Of course, the four right effort is to cultivate all the right thought, right speech, right action that is still not in you. Then from there, you mature to develop what we call the wisdom part, samasati and samasamadhi, leading to its perfection of wisdom. So this Noble Eightfold Path of cultivation actually is the basis of following the advice of the Buddha to actually free your mind, liberate your mind from suffering. Because when you can avoid all evil, karmic negativity from that moment onward cease to be. Then whatever old karmic, past karmic, they will slowly mature until you, towards the tail end, you hardly carry any of this. Then the perfection of wisdom, you also need a lot of wholesome merits, extensive cultivation of perfection of virtue and wisdom. Because wisdom and virtue come hand in hand. Without real wisdom, there is no real virtue. And both move together. So the understanding will actually not only deepen your faith, your devotion, but your spiritual zeal to go this way, to cultivate according to the Dhamma way, following the Noble Eightfold Path, which is to establish you firmly on the path of non-negativity. So that is the beginning of real cultivation. And from there onward, you can develop the Supreme Vehicle way, which is what we call the Bodhisattva way. Then you will move on to a different path, which is a lot more rewarding. So that's basically what you need to understand.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
On the way here, Brother Chan asked me, Matthew, how you celebrate Vesak? So I say in the early year when we don't have session like that, I used to take Kayamita around to all the temples and all those things. Then we also have our vegetarian lunch. We also patronize some of the stalls that offer the vegetarian food and all those things. So most of the time we start with breakfast early morning. Then after that we go to this the SS3 one, is it for Guang? For Guang Sana? No, SS3. And we sometimes go to Nalanda. And we also sometimes visit Champaka and other temple. Subang also sometimes we go. But since the last 2-3 years, I think we had our own. That's why we now do our own sharing. In fact, what you can do is your daily religious routine. You make Vesak a special day for that routine. It's the same, but you renew your faith, your deep reflection on understanding the teaching, especially after you have been exposed to this Supreme Vehicle teaching. Your understanding becomes different. Then you have a lot of joy. when you start to understand all this, which is not easy to come by. That's why understanding actually not only liberates your mind, it gives you a lot of joy, a lot of understanding. Then you realize not only you have a nature that is very blessed, every year of your coming, the form and mind, is so rewarding, so beautiful, so meaningful. Then actually the understanding reverses the whole thing. The Four Noble Truths talks about the reality of life and existence, which the Noble Truth of Dukkha. It's just like a lot of people who don't understand. Oh, everything also suffering, prevalence of suffering, learn from what. But if you don't understand suffering, you cannot develop the wisdom to free it. Only after you understand, then you can develop the wisdom to free it. Then after you free, you know the Bodhisattva way, life is no more suffering. True or not? Life is wonderful existence. That's why the whole thing reverse. There is no more about cause of suffering that can overthrow another. You have already penetrated, rooted out. Now it's about how you can actually make use of this teaching to develop the very complex, extensive understanding of all this karmic conditioning and possibility so that you can be a blessing to all, so that you can fulfill your bodhisattva vow to take all beings across, so that you can live the noble life of an enlightened being whenever you choose to come or you have to come. Then when you connect, you will have all the years of beautiful existence and life. Like this segmented life of my nature, I come after 1989, 35 years old. I had all the understanding. Everything come back to my nature. That's why it become wonderful existence, beautiful. But that doesn't mean that the first 34 or 35 years, I got miserable life. No, my life is still good. But everything is already like arranged and prepared by the nature's understanding. All the causes and conditions already set. That's why the Bodhisattva way, when you understand, when you know how to come, it's really beautiful and rewarding. Uh, then it's no more about trying to realize the third noble truth. Understand? No? Every moment, every instant, you are with that nature. Understand? No? You are with that true mind. Why you want to like hope for that moment of cessation and like no meaning? Understand? No? Then when it comes to the fourth noble truth, the path that leads to that cessation is to be cultivated. You already cultivated, understand? No? Why you want to cultivate it some more? You are now going forward with the perfection of the 10 paramitas, understand? No? That's why the whole Four Noble Truth provisional teaching to you is nothing, understand? No? When you have gone through those stages. Uh, So the significance of Wesak between the provisional teaching and the ultimate supreme awakening teaching is world apart. Understand? Completely different understanding. Uh, but don't talk about this to the Theravada tradition. They get very angry. Just let things be. When the time comes, hopefully they will develop the condition and cultivation. Then they will understand. Otherwise, just let things be. It's not about praising which teaching. No. It's just understanding that such teachings are available. Such path and cultivation are available. Okay? If you don't have questions, then maybe we can share merit, transfer merit. Then we can end the whole section. Okay. Let us compose our mind. develop the faith. Then we shall do the closing puja. Akasata Cheo Bhuvata Devanaga Dika Yantam Anumoditva Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasana Itavata Chamehi Sampadan Punya Sampadan Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Devo asatakalena sasa sampati hetocha. Pito bhavatu lokocha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, now you can pay respect to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we add sadhu. Yeah, we let Mama Suri and Brother Teo say a few words.
I think on this thrice sacred occasion of Wesak, shall we pay respect to our teacher? Shall we put our palms together and say sadhu 3 times to Brother Teo and Mrs. Teo for coming all the way to celebrate this very auspicious day with us by saying sadhu 3 times.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu to each and everyone for being here. We thank you for your attendance and for your support, all the offerings that you bring. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your Kanamikaship and all your supports.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Hello, good afternoon, Brother Mrs. Teo. 最后我想讲，感恩Pama Suri for hosting 这个 auspicious day，and then 而且还 provide 这么丰盛的食物给我们，所以 rejoice 啊，
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.